Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the last race of the first week of racing of the Formula Europe Championship 2019. We are still in Albert Park in Melbourne, and tonight it's Group C time. And we have a Formula Italian team from Italy, Team Limited from Spain, F1 Simu from France, and CPL from Poland. These are the 4 teams that are going to compete in Group C in this first phase of the tournament. But before things get started here during this qualifying session, as we still have 15 minutes to go, let me introduce to you my guest tonight. I'm pretty sure you already know him, has been my guest already 2 nights ago for the race of Group A. Please welcome Federico Andreozzi.
Good evening, Luca. Good evening, everybody.
And of course, if you can clearly see all the images and all the footage coming from the tracks, it's for one reason, and this reason have a name and a surname. And this name is Alessandro Pietracatella, the broadcast director tonight.
Good evening, everybody.
So, as I was saying before, this is Group C. It's the last race of this first week of racing for the 2019 Formula Europe Championship. We already have Adeo on track. Almost every driver is on track at the moment. The best one in the first sector is Adeo, of course, with 26.7, 21.7 in the second sector. Even Fab is on his same pace in this first lap. Adeo about to set the first lap of the evening, and it's a 1:20.6. So this is the provisional pole position time with 14 minutes still on the clock. There is a yellow flag in sector 3. Maybe we have some drivers who are slowing down. Fab 1:20.9 in second place, but he is oh, look at this,
Soft tires.
Yeah, he have a there are 2 compound of difference between Adeo and Fab, and the Ferrari driver is only 3 tenths away from the temp set by Adeo, while LMD Gabri sets a higher 1:24.3 on super soft tires. So drivers at the moment, Federico, are trying some different compounds for his first part of the qualifying session.
Yeah, I think we will see someone trying to qualify on the super soft tires, like Fab, for example. I'm pretty sure.
Gae is out of the session in sector 3, and I do believe there is a yellow flag out of turn 10, so he lost the car and hit the wall out of turn 10. That's what happened with F1 Gae. So that means that there's an high possibility for him to start from the bottom of the grid.
Yeah, very high indeed. He doesn't have a time set yet, and he will be in a little bit of trouble for the start of the race. Of course, it's a long one, but starting from the back is always pretty tough, especially when the level is so high. As I was saying, we have now also Dilegge set his time, his first time, his banker time, I would say. They are trying to put the lap there, so they have one time as a reference. On the soft tires, so I think they might be trying something different with the strategy compared to all the others, and we might see someone going to start on the super softs.
Well, we'll see what's gonna happen. Anyway, it's not only Fabio Dilegge who got more fuel in this first part of the qualifying session. Even Adeo looks like he has more fuel, and he's doing another lap, and he is 1.5 tenths faster of himself in the first sector. So I'm pretty sure he's not gonna end this lap with the ultra soft tires. And anyway, he's still improving. Almost 2.5 tenths of a second faster than himself in the second sector, so it looks like he could do something like a 1:20.3 at the moment. Matu for 1:20.8 up into second place at the moment, so with still 11 minutes to go.
Who is closing his lap and has record in the first 2 sectors. Personal record.
We will have Adeo and Fab, one after the other.
1:20.4 with ultra soft tires, and now Fab is closing the second lap on the soft tire, and he's in third with 1:20.5, improved himself of a couple of tenths of a second, and it looks like Dilegge is trying for another lap, but in the first sector is just slightly slower than before.
Yeah, Adeo has put in the provisional pole once again in 1:20.2, followed by Manolo, who is 1:20.3, just slightly under a tenth behind.
And there's also Libero, who's on his hot lap. He sets a 26.8 in the first sector with 310 from pole position, 21.9 in the second sector, 310. He can be maybe in 7th place. He's in 6th place with 121.0, just ahead of the Ferrari of Di Legge. So we have Adeo, then the two limited drivers, Manolo in 2nd and Eagle in 3rd place. Then we have Fab Matouf, Libero, Di Legge, Pancurniak ahead of their teammate CPL Iceman and CPL Bypass. Then Gabri, Danix, Dreads, Sperry, Gaeo is out of the session, and CPL Milos. That actually we still have Dreads, Sperry and Milos without a time set at the moment. Libero is trying for another flying lap with the ultra soft tire, and he is slightly faster than himself in the first sector, 2 cents of a second.
Yeah, we have seen the Formula Talent team guys going out on the soft tires, all 4 of them, except for Danix, who has set his time on the super softs and didn't manage to have a really good. Oh well, I am wrong, actually wrong, because he set his time on the soft tires and now he's come out on super softs.
Oh, super soft. Well, just my opinion. Do believe it's a little bit too early if you want to set your best time with the super soft tire. There's still half of the session to go, 9 minutes. I do believe if someone want to set his time and qualify with the super soft tires, the best time to go out and set your time is the last minute of the session, when there are just 2 at maximum 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, but this gives Danix the possibility, if he doesn't manage to put in the lap, to come in once again, fit on the ultra soft tires and have a little bit better starting position if something goes wrong, which is, we know it's qualifying, so anything can happen when you are going flat out every single corner. So it's a particular call, a strange call, but it has some kind of sense, I think.
And now with the Williams, Dreads sets a 26.2 in the first sector, and that's a new record for sector 1, so just be aware of him. And in the meantime, Bypass has improved this time of almost half a second in the first sector, set to take a 27.4, 26.5 in the first sector, also for Gabri. So we must be aware of the 2 team limited drivers, so let's see what Dreads is going to do. In the second sector, sets a 21.5, and it's still a new record for the second sector, so it's all purple on his time board at the moment. So let's see what Dreads is gonna do. If nothing strange happens, this will be the new time to beat, and probably a high 19. Let's see what's gonna happen. Yes, it is. Oh, 1:19.679, wow. And that's the new pole position for LMD Dreads. More than half a second faster. Not even that high. A mid-19 for Dreads, and even his teammate Gabri with a 4th place sets a 1:20.3, just 8 cents of a second behind his teammate Manolo. So we have 4 LMD drivers in the first 5 places of the grid at the moment.
That's a really good job from them. That's a really strong qualifying up to now. And I have seen Fab going out on ultra soft tires.
Yeah. And Matouf in the first sector sets 26.4, is 2 tenths lower than the pole position. 26.9 for Gabri, who tried maybe to push a little bit in the first sector. 26.4 for Adeo, who gets a 21.4 in the second sector. So Adeo is about to close his lap. He is in the last sector at the moment, and we also have to see
26.1.
26.1. And no, it's not Di Legge, it's Fab. It's Fab. 26.1 in the first sector.
Yeah, I meant Fab.
Di Legge is still in pit. Yeah. Adeo on the finish line. Let's see if he can improve his time. Yes, he got it. It's 1:19.9. He is still in second place, but it's not enough to beat LMD dress with 19.6. But let's see what Fab can do. He sets a 21.3 in the second sector, 1.5 tenths faster than Dreds. So we can maybe see a low 19 now. So let's see what's gonna happen with Fab out of the last corner, now about to cross the finish line, and it's a 1:19.277. That's a great time on ultra soft tires for Fab, nearly half a second faster than Dreds.
That's a really strong time, and we still have 5 minutes, so he will be trying to improve even more on that, and that would be really impressive. Good pace from
Yeah,
Fab.
actually yes. So we still have Gabri. Actually on track we have Adeo. No, there is a Ferrari coming out, and it's Dilegge. Dilegge is actually on which tire? On super soft tires.
Super softs.
4 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and super soft tire for Dilegge. So Dilegge will try something different compared to his teammate Fab, who decided to go for the pole position and start on the front.
Yeah, and also Danix is out on super softs, so he went in once again and now has come out again on track. He's warming up his tires and going to start his lap in a matter of seconds.
While Manolo lap has been invalidated, he was on 21.5 in the second sector. So actually Fab have the records in all three the sector. He have a 26.1 in the first sector, a 21.3 in the second sector, and a 31.7 in the third sector. We have only 3 drivers who were able to lap under the 32 seconds in the third sector, and these drivers are Fab, Dreds, and Adeo with 31.7, 31.8, and 31.9.
And now I want to see. I'm curious about Danix's times, because we'll see if he has the pace to go quite high on the grid, because on this super soft he could be on a great strategy for the race. Even if at start he won't be as fast, but now the times seem quite interesting.
He sets 26.6 in the first sector, almost half a second from Fab. 21.5 in the second sector. He lost not that much, just 1.5 tenths in the second sector. Actually, he could set a high 19 or a low 20. Let's see what's going to happen. There is a Saber ahead of him, and he is in 7th place.
25, yeah.
Yes, he lost a lot of time in the second sector because he sets a, let me check the timetable, he sets a 32.4 in the second sector, so that's maybe the problem of the super soft tires. While there's a 26.6 coming from Dilegge with super soft tires, he's much on the same times of Danix. And even in the second sector, Danix set a 21.5, and the same times come from Dilegge, while Iceman with his ass for the CPL team sets 21.8 there, 3 tenths of a second slower than the Ferrari, and Iceman is on ultra soft tires.
Yeah, now it will be interesting to see where the guys on super soft are going to be placed on the grid, because they will be a little bit slower on the first part.
Ooh,
wow, Dilegge, that's a good one.
Soft. Maybe he sets a faster third sector than Danix, and that maybe was the
that's the difference,
that was the ideal time. That was maybe the ideal time of Danix, a low 20.2 in this case for Dilegge. There's also Libero on track at the moment, and he's reaching now the finish line, and he improved himself, but he still remains in 10th place. 1:21.054. That's the time set by Libero. There's also Bypass, who's improving himself in both first and second sector. And in the end, he didn't manage to improve himself on the ultra soft tires. That's 1:22.9, and that's at least strange.
Yeah, but now all the drivers are out, pretty much, apart from Eagle, Danix, and Iceman, who
Libero
have
is trying
set their
one
times.
more lap on the ultra soft tires. He is 2/10 faster than himself in the second sector, but he is half a second almost from the pole position. 26.3 for Manolo in the first sector. He is 1.5 seconds from Fab. Let's see what happened in the second sector with Manolo. 21.5, another 2/10 lost on Fab. He is already almost 4/10 from the pole position in the second sector. Now Manolo in the third sector. Everybody is on track. 26.3 for both Dretz and Adeo in the first sector, and they are both 1/10.5 slower than the pole position set by Fab. Manolo now reaching the finish line. 1:20.3 was his best time before he improves on 1:19.9 and puts up into third place. Now Dretz, Dretz lost his car. Dretz lost his car, and there's damage on his front wing, and he was really lucky to don't completely destroy his car. But anyway, we have the checkered flag on track, so Dretz will not have any more possibility to improve himself.
Adeo doesn't improve. He comes across the finish line right now, doesn't improve his position. So I think it's pretty much it for what concerns the first rows. Yeah. And really stunning job from Fab with that really great lap.
So with 1:19.2, Fab sets the pole position ahead of the two limited driver, Dretz in second and Manolo in third. Then we have Adeo, Dilegge, Gabri, Eagle, Danix, Libero, Matuf, Pancherniak, Patrick Sferi, Mino Scheisman, and Bypass. Unfortunately, we have 3 CPL drivers on the bottom of the standing, if we don't include in the count F1 guy who crashed his car at the exit of turn 10 in the first minute of the session.
Yeah, that's. I think they will have to try and improve that in the race, because that's not really a great way to start. But we also know the race is pretty much something different. Very often, you don't really know the pace one can have in the race from qualifying. So I think they could be still in the mix if they get the strategy right and if they have a little bit of luck also.
So we'll see what's gonna happen in race. So we talking about the things we have. All the limited drivers in the top 10. They are in second and third, and in sixth and seventh, with Dretz and Manolo ahead, and with Gabri and Higo in sixth and seventh in the third row and the fourth row. We also have 3 members of Formula Italian team in the first 8 places, with Fab starting from the pole position, Dilegge in 5th, and Danix in 8th place. So it's going to start from the 4th row. But now we're going to see the standing on screen. So we're going to talk about the standing better with the complete results just in front of our eyes. And here it is. So Fab with ahead of Dretz and Manolo. The first Simu is Adeo. That's going to start from P4 in the second row. Then we have Dilegge in 5th place ahead of LMD, Gabriel and Deagle in 6th and 7th. Then 5th, Danix 90-10 in 8th place, followed by Libero and Matuf, another 2 drivers for F1 Simu. Then we have Pancherniak, the first of the CPL League, in 11th place, with Patrick Sperry in 12th, the last of the Formula Italian team drivers. And then CPL Pinoche, Iceman, and Bypass in 13th, 14th, and 15th place. On the bottom of the grid, we have F1 guy that's going to start from the bottom of the grid. Federico, first of all, we have to see which kind of weather we're going to have in the race. And of course, looks like it's a little bit more, it's a bit more cloudy than before.
Yep. Overcast, to say the least. Really dark and gloomy. So could this be a blessing for the guys starting on the super softs? Because if it doesn't rain right away or too late, they could be in the right strategy to go ahead and take something really important here. So let's see.
Well, of course, we'll see what's going to happen, as we saw a lot of rain in these past two races. Last night for the Group B, we had a completely wet qualifying with the drivers who were forced to set their time on intermediate tires, and then we had a wet race on Monday for Group A with a pretty crazy weather, if you remember.
Yeah, I do, and that was really puzzling for the drivers because they didn't really know which tires to put on because the DRS was active pretty much throughout all the race, but they still had to go on intermediates to go faster. So that was really strange, but some of them really managed to take advantage of that. I remember Sergi going from the very back of the standings where he was at the start, and now coming back up on the podium at the finish. So
yeah,
it really mixes up a lot. Wow, Fab goes straight in turn 3.
Oh, that's at least strange. And now I think he's just behind his teammate Dilegge. I do believe he's gonna stay there because maybe he was. I don't know if he was checking for something. It's at
was
least
trying to brake as late as he could, maybe.
What? Or maybe he was trying to brake as late as he could to know which is the limit in case he have to defend his place after the start at turn 3. Maybe.
I would say it's like 20 meters before.
Yeah. Okay, so drivers are now completing the formation lap. We're gonna see them on the grid soon, and we're gonna start this third and last race of the first week of racing of the 2019 Formula Europe Champions League. We saw Tonix winning for Formula Motorsport driver last night, and then we saw Nico winning for on Monday night. So we'll see what's gonna happen for TF1. So cars are now on the grid. Fab is gonna retake what's his. So he's gonna go back to the pole position spot that is on the left of the grid. So you have the outside line for turn 1. Cars are coming. We're just waiting for the green flag on the bottom of the grid, and it's coming with 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're ready to go for the Australian Grand Prix. And let's go with Fab starting from pole position, and let's see if Dretz will be able to attack the Ferrari. Looks like not, so Fab is turning into turn 1 in first place, and it looks like nothing happened in the group, so Fab maintaining the lead. Then we have Dretz, Manolo, Dile, Jadeo, Eagle, Gabri, and all the others. Let's see at turn 3 with Manolo even trying to attack his teammate, and Adeo almost lost the rear of his car and lost several positions. He is now falling into P7 at the exit of turn 7. Maybe his tires were not that hot as they should be, and there were no traction for him.
Dilegge got a really good start. He got the jump on Adeo on the outside of turn 1. Then he squeezed him right onto the inside of turn 3, and Adeo had to try and keep his position, but he lost the car, and so he had to control it and lost some positions.
And the 2 drivers who have lost the most position in the first lap are Adeo, who lost 3 positions, and Patrick Sperry, who lost 4 places. He was in 12, now is at the bottom of the grid, but look how much now Dilegge is struggling with those tires. For sure, the drivers with the Ultra Soft are going to have a couple of laps, and then maybe Dilegge will start to gain something on them.
Yeah, the track isn't even that warm.
Yeah, sure, there is no sun at the moment. The clouds are covering the sun, so I'm pretty sure, and it's almost sure that the temperature of the tarmac He's lower than the one we had just a few minutes ago in qualifying. So Fab is increasing the gap. He almost already have a 1 second gap on Dretz. Gabri, after only 2 laps, he already have a 3 second time penalty. So this is going to be interesting because actually Gabri is in 6th place. And if he want to maintain this position, at least at the end of the race, he should be more careful because we saw yesterday penalties can be very dangerous when every driver, all the drivers of the grid have similar paces.
Yeah, and also are very clean in their driving. We saw like Ryman losing like 3-4 positions at the end of the race for one single penalty.
Dilegge now in the sandwich of the 2 LMD drivers and the 2 Force India. Manolo in 3rd, Eagle in 5th. But it looks like now Dilegge is very, very close to Manolo. And let's see if he will be able to attack the Force India in the next few laps. Fab is closing lap number 2. It's a 23.5, the first fastest lap of the race. And he have a 1.5 second on Dretz. Then we have Manolo and Dilegge that is very, very close to him. Then Eagle, Gabri, Adeo, Danix, Libero, Matuf, Pancherniak, Milo, Scheisman, Bypass, Guy, and Patrick Sperry. Patrick Sperry actually is on soft tires. All the drivers on soft tires are in the 3 lowest spot of the standing, and these drivers are CPL
Dilegge just lost his front wing.
Ooh, and this is gonna cost him so much.
Yeah, he was on the strategy to go as long as he could, but now this is really bad for him. He will have to come into the pits and change the front wing, change the tires, and this pretty much throws in the bin everything he has done in qualifying, actually.
And now even the cars behind him have some problem. Dilegge cutting completely on the grass turn 10. Maybe also in order to avoid Iceman. Iceman spun at the exit of the chicane, and he also lost a piece of his front wing. And in the meantime, Fab sets a 24-0. And now have, let me check a bit.
Well,
2 seconds and a half on Dretz. Eagle
has overtaken Manolo.
Yeah. Maybe Manolo has been overtaken after what happened with Dilegge, maybe.
Maybe he might have lost some time. I don't know if it's due to that or simply his tires maybe starting to go off a little bit because Eagle is on the super softs, and it might be the point where the red tires are starting to get better than the purple ones.
And maybe for Iceman, there's a new set of soft tires for him. Soft tires also for Dilegge. So now we have 5 running drivers on track with the soft tires. Fab is really pulling away the gap on Dretz. There are almost 3 seconds between them. And Eagle, with the super soft tire, is starting to gain on his teammate Dretz. I think he already gained almost half a second on him.
Yeah, he did. And this pretty much confirms what I was saying before, because he's on the super softs and he's going pretty fast right now.
Who's losing a bit of time with this super soft tire is Danix. Danix is lapping on a 25-0, while ahead of them Dretz, Eagle and all the others are on the mid-24. So he's actually losing half a second with Adeo trying to dive on the inside at turn 3 on Manolo, but he decided to stay behind the Force India. And actually there's a very, very good situation for Team Limited, as they have 4 drivers in 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place.
Yeah, they are pretty much all lined up, and I think Manolo has let his teammate through. Maybe he has used his tires a little bit more, so he wants to make his teammates run away a little bit, gain that little bit of an advantage that could be very beneficial in the pit stop phase.
And it looks at the moment like Hideo have more pace than Gabri. He's pushing like hell behind him. Gabri have made a bit of mistake, going a little bit wide out of turn 11. Hideo is right there, but the problem for who? How much he was close there. The problem for Hideo is that Manolo, no, maybe now, because Manolo now is 1 second from Gabri, so he's not gonna have the DRS. So Manolo goes on the inside to define himself. Hideo on the outside at turn 1, they both break in so hard, and Hideo forced to go on the grass to avoid the contact.
Yeah, he
with Manolo.
waits also. He's not happy with that, I think.
And you can clearly see how much his tire have been ruined by this excursion on the grass, and he goal 3-second time penalty for him too. And the one who gained advantage of this situation is Danix, who have overtaken Hideo, and then now is just 2 seconds from Manolo. Milos, even for him, here comes a 3-second time penalty. So actually we have Gabri, Igo. Oh,
Oh, Hideo!
No, Libero, excuse, Libero, sorry. It was Libero.
Okay.
He lost the car. He lost the rear of the car, spun and a half on the middle of the track at the exit of turn 8. Don't know
I
what
don't think
happened.
he
Usually,
considered any damage, actually.
no, there are no damage on his car, I do believe. But I gotta tell you that his mistake, it's a little bit strange, because in the point where we spawn, you're almost safe. You have already you already have all the traction. It's not a problem there usually.
Yeah, that's a little bit strange, and even the fact that the track is cold is not an excuse anymore, I think, because we can see the sun has come out a little bit. Yeah. It might have been the cause for Dilege's spin, but
maybe
not for this one. So it's really weird.
And in the meantime, Eagle have overtaken his teammate Rezzo. Is now in the second place, and it's pretty clear how much the super soft tires are working better now. You can see it also from Danix, who have gained almost 1 second on Manolo, and now he is almost in the DRS zone of the LMD drivers.
Yeah, we are reaching the point where the ultra soft are going to be changed. These drivers will have to go into the pits and change their tires, because they're starting to lose some time.
Oh, there's a yellow flag in sector 2. Maybe Milos. Oh, he's spun in the same point of Libero. Right in the same point at the exit of turn 8. And yes, he was in the middle of the track. And now he is in 14th place, bypass 3-second time penalty, while Fab sets a 24.8 in this lap. There are still a 5.7 gap differential from Eagle, who sets 24.7 at the moment. And
because Manolo is in the pits.
Yes, Gabri, Manolo and Matuf decide to change their ultra soft tire, so they are going to go on soft tires. Manolo, Gabri, and yes, Matuf. So they are all on soft tires.
And they will have to be very, very fast, taking them to the right temperature, because they don't want to lose time to the guys who have stayed out
There's
on
a
the
yellow
super
flag in
softs.
sector 1. There's a yellow flag, but now it's already been
just someone going slowly a little bit.
Maybe, yes. Anyway, Hideo is very close to Danix, and even Hideo is on ultra soft tires, so I do believe that Hideo is using those ultra soft tires better than on the others, because he is still on the pace of Danix. But now Danix have free air ahead of him. There are no drivers ahead of him, and we'll see which pace he's gonna have, maybe compared to Eagle pace.
Hideo's doing actually a really good job right now to keep in the DRS of Danix, because this allows him to save a little bit of fuel. Ooh, that's important. He was in the fight for the podium. Now he'll have to be careful.
Manolo
as well.
Ooh. I do believe that the LMD drivers should be very... Dretz received a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, The LMD drivers must be very careful. They are receiving several penalties, and we're just not on. We're not even yet at the half of the race.
Yeah, they will have to keep that in mind, because I will never get tired to say that it can cost you a lot. It can cost you. So they have to keep a little bit of attention more.
Well, actually, I was looking at the pace of the Legge. He's on the low 24 at the moment, comparing to Fab that is on high 24, almost low 25 at the moment. And Eagle is now really gaining time on Fab. He gained half a second per lap in the last 2 laps, and there are now a 4.6 gap differential between them. We'll see if Fab will return to the pit. I guess
to the
it
right.
is.
Yes.
Yes. So Eagle continues, and that means that Eagle is the new race leader. And we'll see where Fab is going to come out from the pits. Maybe there is Danix, his teammate, coming. Adeo is in the pits, so Adeo is stopping, and Fab is behind Guy.
Yeah,
He's behind Guy, yes.
Ahead of Patrick Sperry, ahead also of Dres.
Yes.
Who is actually pretty far back.
Yeah, he lost time maybe in traffic after his pit stop.
Yeah, lost a lot of time. He's like...
Adeo is losing time, and there's a contact! There has been a contact between Adeo and Manolo hit the wall heavily, and I'm pretty sure that there should be damage on his front wing. Adeo and Manolo were very close after Adeo pit stop, and there's been a contact between them in the middle of turn 2, and Manolo hit the wall.
Yeah, and he lost quite a big chunk of his front wing, all the left side, and he's locking up every corner. So he's really struggling right now, and that's unfortunate because he pitted just 2 laps ago, and he will have to pit again. And let's hope for him he has another set of soft tires.
Yes, that was what I was about to tell you.
That is not obvious, because you have to select it if you want 2 sets, and the default is 1. We'll see.
We'll see what's gonna happen. So Eagle leading the race ahead of Danix. There is an 8.2 gap between them. Then there is Pancheriak in 3rd place, 5 seconds far from Danix. Then Gae in 4th, but all the drivers in the first 4 places, and Patrick Sperry, that is in 6th at the moment, also bypass. They all still have to make their pit stop. So we'll see what's going to happen. And what I want to see now is which will be Fab pace with the soft tire. Usually, you are not immediately faster than the ultra soft tire in the first lap. So I'm pretty sure that maybe the fastest lap will come in the next 2 laps.
And it goes from bad to worse for Manolo, because he doesn't have a set of soft tires, so he has put on a set of super soft, and we will see if he tries to run this to the end. It will be very difficult, or if he has to pit again.
Adeo overtook bypass, and he's now up into P9. There's Dretz with Patrick Sperry, with the Dretz that is very close to Patrick, who takes the center line of the track. But now I'm pretty sure that Dretz will have a better exit there with the new soft tires, and he managed to take the place of Patrick Sperry. Now Dretz is in 6th, and Danix pitted going on soft tires. He pitted after 12 laps.
Yeah, let's see where he rejoins. I want to see, because that could be an indication. Yeah, he's right there behind Dres.
He's with Gabri. He's right.
Gabri's coming out, and he gained time. He gained quite a lot of time. He has to defend now from Gabri.
Gabri now have surely better tires than Danix, that still have to warm up his tires. So Gabri managed to take 7th place from Danix, who is in 8th now. but Eagle, Panchernia, and Sperry still have to pit, so we should have to be very careful to see, most of all, when Eagle is gonna make his call.
Yeah, and just to return a little bit on Danix, he did a great job because... what?
There's been a mistake by bypass. He went wide on the grass at turn 5 and he's been overtaken by both Matuf and Dilegge, with the Ferrari of Dilegge that is right at the back of the FCMU driver.
Yeah, he's there. Let's see if he tries it here with the DRS.
Oh, he could do this. He could do this. He's very close. Matuf stays on the outside line. On the inside, Dilegge taking the place on Matuf, and he's now in P10, but I'm pretty sure that Dilegge is gonna pit again. Maybe he's gonna go for a new Ultrasoft in the end and try something special.
Eagle out of the pits in effective
Fourth
P2.
place. Yeah.
Fourth place, effective P2. Wow,
and
that's Gabri on the outside.
With both Danix and Sperry, with Danix now trying on the outside of Gabri at turn 3. Oh, almost a contact between them. No, that's great. That's great. 2 Toro Rosso and 2 Williams fighting for P5, 6, 7, 9. Fab on Pancerniak and Fab. Oh, Pancerniak almost lost his car. And now Fab is effectively back in the lead of the race on lap 13 of 29, and also Adeo managed to overtake Patrick Sperry and he is now in 8th.
I have to say, this strategy calls, quite particular strategy calls, I would say, have given us quite an action-packed race. So,
oh, Danix is very
I can't
close
complain,
now, very
actually.
close. Gabri tried to defend on the inside. Danix again, he's on the outside, and Gabri managed to defend his position on Danix, while Pancherniak decided to return to the pits. And now there are only Bypass and Patrick Sperry that still have to pit. Pancherniak changing his tire. Also Gae, yes, also Gae. So we still have
Manolo.
3 drivers still to pit. Manolo with Milos is very close now. Has Pancherniak is rejoining behind Matuf in 11th place. And Manolo managed to No, sorry, it's not Manolo with Milos. Yes, Manolo.
Manolo overtook Iceman.
Yeah, Milos. Iceman, okay, sorry.
Iceman, yeah. And I saw something really, really strange. I saw Bypass completely cutting the pit exit line and rejoining in the middle of the straight. It's I don't know if I saw correctly. It was just a second there, but it was particularly strange.
And
well, he didn't come out of the pits actually.
I don't know. Anyway, Adeo have done a brilliant exit lap from the pits. He was far more than a second from Danix, and now he's in the back of the Red Bull. So we have Gabri, Danix, and Adeo, each one in the DRS zone of the other, while Fab sets a 123.5, and that is the new race fastest lap.
In the meantime, Patrick has given space to his teammate Dilegge and let him through. And now Dilegge is free to push and try and go chasing after Adeo and Danix.
And now the fact is that Dretz have a 3-second time penalty, Eagle have a 3-second time penalty, and he have 5 warnings. So it means that at the next warning he is gonna have another 3-second time penalty. And now actually Eagle have 3 seconds on Dretz. So it should Dretz can overtake Eagle at the moment. I'm checking the penalties. So Eagle, yes, there are 3 seconds for Eagle, 3 seconds for Dretz, and 3 seconds for Gabri too. So actually Gabri
6 seconds for
is
Eagle
behind.
right now.
I was talking about Eagle. He was on 5 warnings. So at the next one, he could have the possibility to reach the second penalty. And now 6 seconds for Eagle. This means that he is surely behind Dress, but he also have to be careful to his teammate Fab. Another couple of tenths He improved his fastest lap, sets 23.3. Gaia is still on track. Danik's
Fab is
very
gaining
close.
a really good advantage.
Yeah. Pretty sure that what Fab has to do now is just have to manage this gap. There are 16 laps. There are still 30 laps to go, and he almost have 9.5 seconds on LMD Eagle that also have 6-second time penalty. So it's not a problem for him. But I'm pretty looking for this pack right here with Gabri, Danix, and Adeo, and Delege is behind them, just a couple of seconds far from the F1 Simu driver. And he's still on a good pace. What we saw yesterday is that the soft tires starts to lose really the grip after 16, 18 laps.
Yeah, and that's the point where it will become important for the guys who have started on super soft, who have now newer tires, fresher tires, to keep them really
careful to Danix,
well.
He's very close now, huh?
Yep.
Danix close again. Gabri defending on the inside, leaving Danix on the outside, trying everything. Oh, you have to be careful now because Adeo take advantage of the situation. He tried everything he got on the outside, but now Adeo is in front of him and he took P6.
Yeah, it was a really wow, very close to the wall, Danix. It was a really bold move, that one. And
Eagle on Gae, sorry to interrupt you, but Eagle and overtook Gae. And look at this, there are just 10 seconds is the gap between Fab and Eagle.
Yeah, 10 seconds. So he has pulled the gap a little bit in this first part of the second stint. That's important for him because he needs to be to have a good advantage on Eagle, a good gap, because of the fact we were speaking about earlier. Eagle has 3 lap fresher tires, so he will be faster at the end. But now Fab has managed to create this this gap, will be safe for him to get to the end.
And in the meantime, I saw the pit stop of Milos and Patrick Speri. They both going on new super soft tires, while Fab sets a 23.6 in this lap. Manolo, another 3-second time penalty. 23.6 for Fab, 24.4 for Eagle. There are now 10.5 seconds between them, and there is a lapped car. It's Milos ahead of the Force India. Eagle trying to take all the slipstream behind Milos, and then dive into turn 3, and Delege decides to return to the pit, and there are new and fresh super soft tire for him, and I think he's gonna rejoin in 11th place, just ahead of Bypass. Maybe Bypass is coming, and Delege is just leaving the pit limiter right now, but CPL Bypass is ahead of Delege. But I'm pretty sure that with the super soft tires, if not this range up, and Delege will have the pace to attack Bypass in maybe less than a lap.
Also, because Bypass still has to pit, has 17 laps,
same as
old tires.
Oh, yeah. Something happened too! Something happened with Gabri. Maybe he lost his car also in the exit of turn 8, and he lost both places on Danix and Adeo, and Danix have taken advantage of the situation, so maybe there's been a contact between Gabri and Adeo, because Danix now is ahead of both of them.
Yeah, Danix has had the best of times there, gaining 2 places, and now also has a little bit of a gap from Adeo. If he can keep that, it would be great for him. But no one pulls into the pits, so I don't think there's damage for anyone. Maybe just someone squeezing the other out and losing a little bit the car, and Danix going through.
We'll see if something's gonna happen after the race, because we don't have to forget that there are some post-race procedures to be exploited, like the verification of the qualifying laps. Maybe some drivers can call some drivers into a claim, so anything can happen in in the post-race, and we'll see if maybe someone will be calling to a claim after the race. In the meantime, we still have 10 laps to go here, with Fab leading the race ahead of LMD Eagle. Then we have Gae, who still have 2 pits, and then we have Dretz, Danix, Adeo. Danix actually is maintaining the gap on Adeo. There are still 8/10 of a second between them, and he's gaining on Dretz. He gained the 3/10, almost 4/10 of a second in the last lap on Dretz. That is right in the back of Gae. So that may be going to cost him some time, while Fab is doing another new fastest lap of the race in 23.2, while F1 guy putting himself on the right, and he is returning to the pit for his pit stop, and with 9 laps to go, I should believe he's going to go on ultra soft tires, and yes, it is.
Yeah, 9 laps to the end. He can safely make it to the end with these tires. I want to talk a little bit about the strategy call of Dilegge, because he might seem quite strange, but remember, he put on those soft tires really early. I don't think he would have managed to get to the end with a decent pace. So he decided to pit, and now the strategy is actually quite paying off, because it's just done the fastest lap of the race.
He's on super soft.
And
he's on super soft.
Yeah, super soft, sorry. And now I think he will be one of the fastest guys on track, and will try to regain as many positions as he can, and actually might also have a little bit of fun.
We'll see what's gonna happen. Actually, Dilegge is gaining more, obviously. 3 seconds time penalty for Dilegge. So that's gonna, speaking of, just like Monday.
Yeah.
So Dilegge now have a 3-second time penalty, but he's gaining more than 1 second per lap on the Libero. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna be faster also than Panchuniak and Matouf. But we will see if those 3 seconds are going to pay off at the end of the race, while Fab is still leading with almost 12.5 seconds on Eagles. Then we have Dretz, Danix who is gaining on Adeonar. There's a margin of 1.1 second between them. Previously there were just 8/10 of a second between Danix and Adeo, and Danix is 7.2 from Dretz. I'm gonna take a look at the pace of the drivers there to see if there's the possibility for Danix to catch Dretz. Dretz have a 3-second time penalty, and he is also on the 5th warning, so he have to be very careful there. Even Danix have 2 warnings, so they both have to be very careful at the moment. Danix, so Dretz now is lapping on the high or mid 24. Danix is lapping on low 24, high 23.
Yeah, and I don't think the pace difference is that much, but Danix is slightly gaining a little bit. We saw also there just under 7 seconds, up and down a little bit. He's counting maybe on some little mistake by Dretz with a penalty or something like that, because and also on the fact that he has fresher tires. It's only 3 laps, but if Dretz's tires hit the cliff, it is in those 3 laps that Danix can gain a lot of time.
And while Axman receive another 3-second time penalty, Danix in this lap have gained half a second on Dretz. 24.5 for Dretz, 24.0 for Danix. That means that now the gap between them is 6.7 seconds, and Dretz have a 3-second time penalty. So it's just like now between them there are 3.7 seconds. And actually Eagle have also gain and create a 6.3 seconds gap on Dretz, which put him in a safe place. Eagle have a 6-second time penalty, Dretz 3 seconds. Adeo is losing a little bit of time on Danix. Now he's losing gap. There is 1.7 between them. There is always a 2 or 3 tenths per lap differential pace now between Danix and Adeo, while Dilegge is right in the back of Libero. He gained 7 seconds in the last 4 laps, and now is 1.4 from him, and there are another 3-second time penalty for Manolo, and this means that now Manolo have a 9-second penalty on his back.
Yeah, we were talking about that. The LMD drivers a little bit of problems with the penalties tonight. I think they will have to work on that aspect, because in terms of raw pace they are there, because we see them second and third place. It's a really strong result.
Sorry,
But
Gae is very close to Pancherniak, and he's looking for an overtake on the CPL driver. Pancherniak protecting the inside at turn 3. It's not enough, because with the ultra soft tires, Gae managed to take P8, and there's a yellow flag in sector 3. Manolo is out. Manolo is out. Maybe he lost the car at the exit of the chicane, the same as Dress during the qualifying. Let's see. Yes, there's a yellow flag exiting turn. Yeah. Yes, it is. So we break everything. And so unfortunately, the race war of Manolo, who was on the podium at the beginning of the race, after the contact with Adeo has been completely compromised. And now he hits a wall, and actually is the only driver who got retired from the race, as we still have 5 laps to go.
Yeah, I think it's actually, no, it's not the only retirement of the 3 days, but one of the really few. That's the thing to point out, that the drivers have been extremely clean, and there have been very little retirements.
Maybe that is because they decided to end the race anyway, just to bring some points on for the team and try to take everything they can. Every point is important now.
Yeah.
While Dilejev overtake Libero, and he already put it almost 2 seconds between him and the F1 Simu driver, and now he's trying to arrive on Pancherniak. 2.5 seconds between them, while Danix is still gaining, and now he's just 5.2 from Dredd. So that means that if Danix can reduce the gap to less than 3 seconds, and he didn't get any more penalties, he could go on the podium now.
Yeah, that would be really great for him, because he started on the slower tires and managed to pull off a really good strategy, while Guy has been released by Matouf, so he can go and chase after Gabri, who has struggled a little bit after that little bit of a contact with Adeo, and has lost a little bit of ground to him, and now is susceptible to Guy attacking him for P6.
Another 0.3 of a second gain by Danix, and now there is a 4.8 second differential between Dretz and Danix. Remember, Dretz have a 3-second time penalty, so that means that actually there is effectively a 1.8 second differential between them, separating Dretz and Danix, so they are actually fighting for the podium. Fab is pretty constant. They have a very good pace at the moment. He's always on the mid-23. On the last lap, he sets a 23.7 compared to the 24.4 of Eagle. Dretz sets a 24.5, Danix 24.2.
Yeah, Danix is on a charge right now. He's trying to...
Oh, yellow flag in sector 3. Yellow flag in sector 3, and it's Iceman. Iceman spun at the exit of turn 10. Don't know if have damage on his front wing, but it looks like, yes, his front wing has been damaged.
Yeah. I saw him going straight into the wall, so he's lucky not to have worse damage.
Dileggio overtook Pancherniak, while Dretz sets a 24.7 on this lap, same time of Danix.
I saw Pancherniak going completely sideways, and it was really scary. Out of nowhere, like.
In fact, Danix have maybe made a mistake in the last lap. Again, Iceman out. Iceman is out of the race. Don't know what happened, actually. The yellow flag was in sector 3. No, there's no more yellow flag, so don't know actually what happened to Iceman. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Oh, he hit the wall that divides the pit lane from the track.
Wow, that's a really weird crash, actually.
Well, he was without his front wing, so maybe he trying to return to the pits. Maybe
Yeah,
he's
he
the effect.
understeered into the wall.
No, looks like Kubica in the free practice this year.
Yeah.
Let's see now. Danix is not gaining that much anymore. Dreads with a very, very good 24.0 in this lap, and it's a 24.0 for Danix too. So now Dreads is trying to give everything that he has because he knows that his podium is in jeopardy now. And we are still 3 laps to go.
The podiums on the board here. They are trying. Both of them are trying their best.
Dileje is right in the back of Matouf, and it looks like he's gonna make it. He have a brilliant exit out of turn 2, taking the inside at turn 3 and complete the overtake on Matouf, reaching P8. Now we have Gae who's on ultra soft now, and I don't know if he's gonna make it. There are 4 seconds between them. The fact is that Dileje have to gain at least 3 seconds on Matouf, because if my mind is not wrong, Matouf have no penalties.
Yeah, I also don't remember him on the penalty board, so yeah, Dileje has to push anyway, and Gae also has done, I think he's done a really good job to get up to 7th place after starting from the very back of the grid. Because he's now on ultra soft, but he managed really well, especially the late part of his soft tire stint, because he didn't lose that much time, and now he finds himself in a really good position to attack Gabri and enter the top 6 to join his teammate Adeo in the top 6.
So the team are pretty much mixed up at the moment. We have Formula Italian team with Fab in 1st, Danix in 4th, and Dileje in 8th place. We have Team Limited with Eagle in 2nd, Dreads in 3rd, and Gabri in 6th, and we have Simu with Adeo in 5th and Gae in 7th. Maybe yes, the complexive result of the Simu drivers will be much lower than the others compared to the others, but they are there. It looks like they could try something to at least finish 2nd, because we have to remember, while Fab is starting the last lap of the race, we have to remember that in the finals we're gonna have 5 teams, and these 5 teams are going to be the first 3 classified team of each group and the 2 best second, because the 3 second classified team are going to face off in 2 knockout races to see the 2 best second classified teams, and then we're gonna have 5 teams. Fab is on the last lap, as I was saying before. Now Danix 3.8. He still need 8/10 of a second to 3 seconds.
Danix,
and now it's over.
that's pretty much
seals
the deal.
And that's a problem, because Adeo is 2.5 seconds from him, and that means that maybe Adeo could gain P4 at the end of the race. So Fab now is on the last sector, just exiting the chicane of turn 9 and 10. So Federico, how about Fab performance tonight?
Yeah, we didn't actually see him a lot, because he did a really great job. He led the race pretty much for its entirety, apart from the pit stop phases, but he did a really good job from qualifying, then in the race to pull this huge gap to the second. So good job to him.
So we saw a Ferrari wins yesterday, and we saw again a Ferrari winning tonight. Last night was Danix, tonight it's Fab. Wins for Formula Italian team, the first race of Group C, and we're about to see Eagle come down the finish line, finishing the race in 2nd place. Dreads on the finish line right now, and he closed in the third. Oh,
Oh, he had 5 seconds.
oh, he had 5 seconds, so
Adeo.
that means that Adeo
Look at the gap.
finished the race.
Look at the gap. Look at that. It's
I
8
mean,
thousandths of a second.
oh my God, what we saw. I didn't expect that because, yes, now that I'm thinking about it, yes, Dratz received a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but I was pretty
Yeah.
sure he discounted this penalty during his pit stop. That didn't happen, so he received the 5 second at the end of the race, but for 8 thousandths of a second, Adeo gets the podium. So that means that we have one driver from Formula Italian team, one driver from Team Limited, and one driver from F1 Simu on the podium tonight. How about that?
That is the most mixed podium we have had in this Formula Europe. And,
yes, in this first 3 races, yes, it is.
Yeah, and that's really good for the show, because we have seen the 3 teams we were talking about that really close and mixed up all race long, and this would be interesting to see how it unfolds also in the next races.
And we'll see what's gonna happen. So that's this the podium celebration for Eagle, Fab, and of course Adeo. I'm pretty sure I can't wait to hear what Adeo will have to tell us about this unpredictable
Wow.
podium at the end.
I think he was pretty much as surprised as we were, if not more.
Yeah, pretty sure about that. So we're just waiting now for the first 3 drivers in the standing to join us in the post-race interviews. So, Federico, just want to ask you one more thing. Yes, we saw Fab almost dominating the race with 17 seconds on Eagle, but we were talking about the fact that this was the most mixed podium in this first week of racing of the 2019 Formula Euro Championship. What do you think about the possibility of each team in this group? Can this be the real battle, or do you think that maybe the real numbers of the team are different at the moment? So this is not the result we should see in the other races.
Well, I think obviously being last year's runner-ups, Formula Italian team are still the most likely to win this group, but I think it will really much come down to the lower scoring drivers, I think, because if you can take some points here and there, also as I said on Monday, maybe tonight even more, in this group even more, if you can take those points here and there, maybe snag a podium once, and there is some problems for one of the other teams, this could make much of a difference. So this is really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to see what we'll see in the next races.
And we'll see what's gonna happen. So as I was telling before, we're just waiting for the first 3 classified drivers to join us here in the post-race interviews. And of course, for the ones who are watching at home, I remember that you can vote your driver of the day by searching our channel, our official social account on Twitter. And you can find the poll for both your driver of the day. You're gonna find this poll at the end of his races, or of each race, on our Twitter account. So let's see. I do believe that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it because I checked the penalty 2 or 3 laps ago, and the Danix, it was Danix or Daniel, I don't remember. Yeah, he didn't have the penalty, so I pushed really hard until the end to stay under the 3 seconds, just in case. And yeah, for 8,000, it's a bit incredible. I don't know if I will stay on the podium because I had a problem with Gabriel.
With Manolo.
Manolo and Gabriel, but
Because we don't saw what happened with Manolo, so I was about to ask you what happened with Manolo. There's been a contact at turn 2, but we didn't saw the entire situation there.
There was a first contact, I think, in lap 5 or 6 in turn 3. He didn't let any space. So no, it was in turn 1. Sorry. He didn't let any space, so I lost a lot of time. And the second contact was just after the pit stop. And I don't know, he was really slow just after the first corner, and I couldn't avoid him with my fresh tires. I was faster than him. I don't understand why he was so slow at this moment of the race, and I think there is a little contact with my front wing and his rear, and he lost the car. So. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, I think if he let more space in the first contact, there will be no second contact, if you know what I mean.
Okay. I perfectly understand what you mean.
Yep.
We were waiting also for LMD, Eagle, and Fab. Don't know if they are scared of just a couple of questions.
Of the cameras.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we don't have cameras here. We just use our voices just like we are in a radio or something like that. Anyway, I don't know if they are scared of a couple of questions, but anyway, if they maybe have some problems, or maybe they have decided to didn't join us in the post-race procedure. So I think it's really everything for tonight. So just have to thank a couple of people. First of all, my guest tonight, Federico Andreozzi, on commentary. Thank you so much, Federico, for being with me.
Thank you, Luca. It's been a pleasure.
And of course, the broadcast director, Alessandro Pietracatella. Thank you so much, Alessandro.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's really all for tonight. We'll see you next week. Of course, the program, it's still the same. First race on Monday for Group A, then Group B on Tuesday, and Group C on Wednesday, 7 days from today. Thank you so much, guys, for following us. That was the first week of racing of the 2019 Formula Europe Championship. But before before we close our broadcast, I do believe that maybe, and I said maybe, the winner of the race, Fab, is about to join us. I'm just gonna wait just 1 more minute, just to maybe, if we can hear the words of tonight's race winner. We'll see if he's gonna join us in just in a couple of minutes. Don't know. Okay, so anyway, talking about what's going to happen on next week. Next week, as I was telling you before, we're gonna have 3 races, of course, on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Of course, tonight we have raced in Albert Park for the first time ever, as the circuit has never held a Formula Europe race in the history of the competition, and next week we're gonna fly, to Azerbaijan in Baku. And just want to ask, while we were waiting maybe for Fab, just want to ask Federico what is his opinion on the circuit of Baku, and we're gonna race there on 50% distance.
Well, it's quite a challenging one because it has all the characteristics, the features of a street race, but with the speeds of a non-street race. So it's a big challenge for the drivers, and they will have to be really careful, using the words of Jolyon Palmer. I think, and especially in that castle section, which is maybe obvious to say, but it's like it is. So yeah, particular track, very strange racing, also very hectic. We can see also very hectic races there, and we'll have fun, I think. But we're never missing the fun in Baku.
Come on, we'll see what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, as I was saying before, we were waiting for the race winner Fab just to hear the words of the winner. We were also waiting for LMD Eagle, who finished tonight's race in second place. Oh, here it is. Here it is. We have Fab, so we have the race winner just in time before we close our transmissions. Let's see if Fab can hear us. Okay, Fab, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been a very good race. You got pole position, then you pulled away the gap through the entire race, as well as you maybe have the opportunity just to manage your gap on Eagle in the maybe last 10 laps of the race. How about your opinion on the race?
Good evening. I try in English, but I'm sorry.
Even Trulli didn't have a good English, but anyway, everybody understand him.
Okay. The qualifying I did horrible lap in my opinion. There was a potential on the car, but nothing. I made a mistake last lap. I corner cut and nothing. After in the race, I think there was some problem in the lobby because the times were hardly 1 second high respect to train and nothing. Poi sorry.
Nah, I don't mind.
I control the space and nothing. Si poteva fare meglio, ecco, non ho altre parole, ecco.
He have no more words. Okay.
I always love when they say they could have done more and they also won the race by a mile.
These are usually words that sounds familiar to me. It looks like Toto Wolff. Okay, no, Ferrari is ahead of miles ahead of us. It's miles. There's margin. No, and okay, we're just joking. Okay, so now it's really all for tonight. I've already thanked Alessandro and Federico for being with me tonight, and of course, I have to thank Adeo and Fab for joining us in the post-race interviews. Thank you so much, guys. You've done a great race.
With pleasure, Luca. Thank you.
Okay, so we also reminded the fact that you can vote your driver on the race on our Twitter account. So it's really everything for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you this next Monday for the second race, and we're going in Azerbaijan, Baku. Second race of Group A this Monday. Thank you. Good night. See you soon. God bless you.